Hey everybody, in this video we're going to be talking about Google's Jamboard. Jamboard is Google's whiteboarding app. It works a lot like Slides if Slides was just a plain old whiteboard. And this is a great tool if you want to be able to do whiteboard either as a demonstration for students in online or maybe even pre-recorded video lessons. But it also, the secret feature for this is since it's a Google product, it works just like Docs and Slides and Sheets and Forms, where you can make one and you can assign it in Classroom, you can share it with students, and students can even create their own and turn them into you as assignments. Let me show you what I'm talking about. To get to Jamboard, what you're going to do is you're going to head on up to your waffle button. And once you click the waffle button, you'll probably have to scroll down a little bit to find Jamboard. This is the icon that we're looking for. It's not a core Google app, but it is part of the broader G Suite. So you're going to click on the Jamboard icon, and that's going to launch Jamboard for you. And you'll see over here, I've got a whole bunch of, Google calls these things jams. Each one is a jam. So if you want to start a new jam using the Jamboard app, you're just going to click this plus button over here, and that creates a new jam for you. So if I'm doing some online learning with my students, either in Meet or Zoom, I can just pull this up in my browser and boom, now I've got a whiteboard and I can demonstrate things for students. So once you're in Jamboard, all of your tools are over here on the left-hand side. You've got a pen tool up here at the top. If you click it, you can then write using this pen tool. If you click it and hold it a little bit longer, it'll pop out and you'll see you've got pens, you've got markers, you've got highlighters, you've got brushes, you've got multiple colors to pick from. The eraser tool is over here, and you can go back and erase anything that you don't want anymore. You also have this pointer over here if you want to get out of editing and just go back to a regular pointer arrow. You've got that. Jamboard also features sticky notes, which I love. These are kind of like Post-its that you can throw up on your Jamboard. So you can just type something into this. You can pick a custom color. And then once you insert this, this is really the way that you're going to get text into your Jamboard. This is now just an object that you can move around. You can even resize it if you'd like to be a little bit longer and tip it on the side to get a little bit more whimsy. Great if you want to put some instructions up on the top of a Jamboard and then give a blank space for students to be able to work stuff out. One of the other things you can do with a Jamboard is you can insert images. So if I click this image icon over here, it allows me to upload my own images from my computer, do a Google's image search, or even add things that might already be saved in my Google Drive. So if you have something that you'd like to annotate, or maybe you've got a diagram, or you've got a picture from your curriculum that you want to use snipping tool for and get a snip of, you can then drop that snip in here, or just do a Google search. Let's search for, I don't know, dinosaurs. So we're going to do a search for this. We're going to find an awesome picture over here. I'm going to select that thing, and then it's going to insert it in here into my jam. And now I can move this thing around. I can resize it. I can pitch the angle a little bit, and I can annotate right over this. The other feature in here is we've got a little laser pointer. If we click on this tool, it allows me to do something like underline the word today, and then it also erases afterwards. Or, hey, everybody, this is a T-Rex. So I can circle it, and then it's not permanent. It just disappears afterwards. All right, let's talk about some more advanced features here in Jamboard. What if I do a whole bunch of work over here and I don't want to see it anymore? I want to make it all go away. I can just click this clear frame button and it will eliminate everything on this frame. One of my other favorite features in Jamboard, though, is that a lot of the time in a whiteboard, you have to do some work and then you have to erase it and do that work again. Not in Jamboard. You'll notice up here at the top, I am on page 1 out of 1 right now. And if I want another page, if I want another whiteboard, I just click this arrow over here and boom, now I'm on to page 2 of 2 or 3 of 3. And then I can use these to toggle back to any of the other pages that I want. I even have, look at this, a little drop down that shows me all the pages. So this is great. You could pre-build this thing ahead of time, get this all set up for today's lesson, maybe with like 7 different examples over here. You've got some word problems that you want to work out, or you're going to build a whole lesson in here. You can do all of this stuff for your students and then use this during your live instruction. But wait, there's more. Before I show you what I think is the best feature of all of this, I also want to show you up here that there is a background button. And if you click that on any one of these jams, for instance, I'm going to go over here to page 2. I'm going to click background. Right now I'm on plain white background, but I can also go to dots. I can change this thing into a lined piece of paper so that we can do some writing practice over here. I can turn it into a graph paper, all sorts of nifty things like that. Okay, here's what makes Jamboard most awesome. I can do collaboration with this. So I can create one of these things, and then I can invite my students to get in here and edit this with me. Since it's a Google product, you'll notice up here in the upper right-hand corner, I have this handy-dandy little share button. And when I click that, I get all of my normal sharing settings, including this whole get a shareable link to this. So this works just like Docs and Slides and Sheets and all those other Google apps, and it gives me a lot of flexibility. So I can do this solo, I can do this in small groups, I can even do this whole class. But there's one other awesome thing. Let me give this a name up here. Right now it's called Untitled Jam. I'm going to call this thing Math Work, and we're going to say okay to this. So this thing is now called Math Work, and I want you to envision with me, I'm in a scenario where I set this thing up ahead of time, and I come up over here and I write in the name of maybe like a word problem or something like that, and then I erase all of this stuff that I don't want to be on here. I clean it up, I make it look awesome. I can actually use this in Google Classroom. So I can pitch this out to students, and I can either let them view this whole entire thing so they could have it up on their screen while I'm making changes and modifications to it, or I could pitch it out to students, and I could even do that, make a copy for each student option, and then each student gets this. So now this can become an assignment where I set it up, I put a couple of math problems on here, and then the assignment is students need to click a link in Classroom, get their own version of this, answer a couple of questions on here, and then turn it into me in Google Classroom. Something I cannot do with Zoom, something I cannot do with whiteboard.fi. As great as those tools are, they're not very conducive for actual assignments. So how do I do that? Simple. I've got my classwork over here. I'm going to go back to Google Classroom. I've got an assignment I was working on. It's called Math Challenge for Week 4. And if I go over here to the Add button and I drop down to Google Drive, the cool part about Jamboard is everything is just saved in my Google Drive. So you'll notice over here, boom, there is today's jam that I just created. I'm going to go ahead and click Add. It's going to add in this Math Work Jamboard that I just created for my students. And then I can go over here and pick what kind of permissions they want. Can students view this jam? That might be really good if I want to show them some examples or some live things that I worked out during a live instruction section. Or do I want students to be able to edit this file? Maybe we're all going to get together and brainstorm together during a live distance learning class section. That might be awesome. But perhaps maybe the best one is the feature in here to make a copy for each student. Now, Johnny's going to have Math Work and Sarah's going to have Math Work. Everybody's going to have their own version of this. They can do it on their own since it's tied to their Google account. They have Jamboard as well. And then once they're done, they can turn this thing into me in Google Classroom. That's it. Jamboard is awesome. It's the best whiteboarding tool, I think, because it exists in our Google universe, and you can turn it into a teaching tool, but also an assignment and assessment tool. And that's why I think you'll really enjoy it. All right. I hope this video was helpful for you. Jamboard, check it out.